tour. Guys, I'm here with my J-Lo tennis shoes on for this sneaker tour. I am here today at Guaranteed Rate with Amanda. We're going to talk about getting you ready to own a home. Let's go talk with her. Come on. Hey Amanda, how you doing, girl?
Hey, girl, good to see you. Let's get you up this heat.
You know, this Texas heat is hot, just like the market. Okay, wow, here we are sitting here with Amanda with Guaranteed Rate. I'm telling you, I'm so excited about today, Amanda, to talk with you about the home buying process before the clients step in the house. We got to get them pre-approved and approval ready.
Yes.
So you know, I always say some of the buying home process steps is first, find a great realtor to work with, get that buyer's consultation, and in the middle of that buyer's consultation, this one question is going to come up. Have you spoke with a lender?
Absolutely.
Because that's important. And when we asked about speaking to a lender, Amanda, I'm going to talk about the top 5 things that we can do and you're going to do to get our clients home ready.
Absolutely.
What is the first step that the clients need to do with you?
So the first step that you want to be prepared for when you're looking to get pre-approved, have some money in the bank, whether that's a 401k. A lot of people don't realize they can utilize a 401k to purchase a home. That is considered a qualified distribution. So you can withdraw funds from your 401k if you don't have liquid assets available. So I would recommend, if you don't have any funds currently in a regular checking or savings account, you can always leverage a 401k as well to purchase a home.
So how would that work if someone does not have the money in their account, and let's just say that a family member is going to give them that money? Do they just toss that money into their account, or what are the rules to that?
Great question. So that would be considered a gift. So yes, you can definitely get a gift from family as well to purchase a home. The steps in that process would be the gift donor and yourself would need to sign a gift letter. Just basically stating that this person is going to gift you X amount of dollars to purchase this property. But here's the kicker.
What's the kicker?
We need to look at their bank statements. We need to make sure that the gift donor has the money in their account that they are gifting you. So we are gonna need like a 30-day most recent bank statement from the gift donor. So that is one thing to note. Now the gift donor can actually send the money directly to the title company as a wire.
At closing.
At closing.
Okay.
And it keeps it streamlined so we don't need to see a copy of a check, deposit into the account. It keeps it much smoother.
Okay, number 2.
So number 2 in the home buying process would be check your credit. See where you're at as far as your credit scores, because obviously that's going to play a big part. That's going to play a part as far as what loan program you will qualify for, what interest rate you'd be looking at. So I would definitely recommend check your credit. The website that I always tell clients to utilize is myfico.com. I'm not affiliated with myFICO.
Right.
However, myFICO will give you your mortgage credit scores.
Well, so that there, you hit on that
Yes.
You even opened my eyes. There's a difference in a mortgage credit score and credit cards and card credit score.
Absolutely.
Can you elaborate on that just a little bit?
Sure. So mortgage lenders, when we get you pre-approved, we're pulling in all 3 credit scores, which are your FICO 2, 4, and 5 scores. If you look online, most of the websites are giving you your FICO 8 and your FICO 9 scores, which would be like a Credit Karma or Credit Sesame or even your own bank when they give you your credit scores, which are inflated, right?
And that is more for cars.
Yes, or
cards.
credit card,
Got it.
not for a home loan. So there is going to be a difference on those scores. So that is why I recommend the myFICO website. It's only because it does break down not just your car scores, not just your credit card scores, but also these are what your mortgage credit scores are.
Yes.
This is what a lender is going to pull in.
That was an eye-opener for me there.
Absolutely.
Step number 3.
So step number 3, this is a big one. Get a home loan consultation first. So after you've got your funds saved up, you've checked your credit, everything looks great, you definitely want to speak to a lender like myself, because that is when we're going to actually walk through this process and get you, the information that you need, any questions you have at that point. I don't recommend house shopping first.
Exactly.
Don't window shop first. Make sure
agree.
you have a home loan consultation, allow a lender to really
Yes.
vet, have that call with you to go through any questions you have before taking the next step, so you can see what your buying power looks like as well.
Well, that is something that we deal with as realtors. We'll have people come to us and say, we want a $400,000 home, or we want to live in this certain neighborhood. And the biggest question next is like, have you spoke with a lender?
Absolutely.
And because the one thing about it is not that we don't want to show you homes, because that's what we live for. That's our passion. But we have to be on target with what we're showing you. We don't want you to go in there and fall in love with a house and you can't afford the house. So that is so important when we say get with a lender. But a lot of people have a lot of fear of what's out there or what's going to come back, but they want to look at homes. So that was really, really good.
Yes.
You have anything else to elaborate on that before we go to step number 4?
Sure. So with the home loan consultation, again, non-threatening, I'm not pulling credit at that point. We're just having a verbal consultation. I can, walk you through your buying power, kind of get an idea of what your debts look like, what your income looks like before you take the next step, so that you can make an informed decision at that point.
Now, question 4.
Get pre-approved. This is a big one.
That's a big one.
This is a really big one. So this get pre-approved, basically what that means is the lender is going to do a hard inquiry on your credit. So this is when we're going to actually pull in all 3 credit scores, run the numbers, and get you a true pre-approval at that point based on your credit profile. And this is going to let you know this is the program that you would qualify for based on your credit scores.
Now, when you say programs, what are some of the top 3 programs that people qualify to purchase a residential property?
Great question. So we've got what's called an FHA loan, which is the minimum requirement of 3.5%. With that program, you want to have at least a minimum credit score of 600. So your mid score is what we're going to use to qualify you, not your highest, not your lowest, but your middle score. So as long as that middle score is a 600 and above, then you will qualify or may qualify for that program. And again, it's just the 3.5% down.
And conventional?
And conventional is another loan program. Conventional does require a little bit of a higher credit score, so you need to be at least at a 620 and above. Conventional is anywhere from a 3 to 5% down payment.
And then VA.
VA, we love our veterans.
Yes, we do.
So
And thank you for serving.
Yes, thank you for all that you do. So with a VA loan, it's a 0 down program. So that is wonderful.
So when you say 0 down, it means that the veteran does not have to bring any money to the closing table.
It means that the veteran is not responsible for any down payment. There are still some closing costs.
Yes.
So your closing costs are anywhere from 2 to 2.5% of the sales price of the home.
And when we talk closing costs too, there is a difference in closing costs with the lender, and then there's closing costs with the title company.
Correct.
And sometimes people will say, well, my lender only told me I needed to bring $8,000 to the table. But then you have to consider the fees at the title company.
Yes, that's a great point. So the title company will charge recording fees. They'll charge for the title policy. Generally, your title costs are about 1% of the sales price. In most cases, the seller will cover that cost. In some cases, they may not. It's really something that's negotiated in
with
your
the
contract.
realtors.
Correct,
Yes, it
right.
is.
So
Yes,
that
it
is part of your closing cost as well. And then we have what's called a USDA loan.
Yes.
That's another great program. So USDA is a 0 down program as well. The only thing is you've got to find a property that's considered rural. So it can't be inside city limits, rural areas, outside of city limits, and we would need to just verify that the property qualifies, as well as there are income requirements for this program. So you would want the lender to look at your tax returns and make sure and see if this is a good fit for you.
You know what, speaking of that, what are some of the top 3 things that you would need while you're in getting them pre-approved, like What are the three things that you would need from them?
Absolutely. So that brings me to number 5. So as far as from, documentation standpoint, the two go together. So to get you pre-approved, we're pulling your credit. Everything's still pretty verbal at that point. And I'm running numbers based on our consultation. So if you tell me what your salary is, that's what I'm going to use. Well, number 5 is actually vetting to make sure that what you've said lines up. Exactly. So I will start asking you for pay stubs, your most recent bank statements to make sure that what you've said lines up and we've got a true pre-approval at that point.
Now, what if you are self-employed, like myself as a broker? I'm a 1099, so I work for myself. What do you need for people? Because there's a lot of people doing at-home jobs now.
Yes.
They're running their own business. So I want to focus a little bit because we do the traditional that you go to work, you get a check stub, you get your tax return. What do you need for self-employed people to qualify for a house?
Absolutely, that's a great question. So if you're self-employed and you're looking to purchase a home, I will tell you this, you want to have at least 2-year tax returns set aside. That is important because the lender, we want to look at what does your average income look like for the last 2 years. We want to make sure that that income is trending upward, right? That you're not downward, right?
Yes.
Because that is obviously a red flag if your income is shifting the opposite way.
Yes.
So 2 years tax returns, all pages. That is something we're going to want to look at. As well as if you are on a payment agreement with the IRS, if you owe for any tax years, we also want to look at that payment agreement because we want to see what is that monthly payment that you're paying to the IRS.
Because it's like a debt.
Exactly, that's right.
And you're going to have to pay that while you're in the house.
Exactly. And one last thing I do want to mention about self-employed borrowers, we look at your write-offs. So again, if you tend to write a lot off, and I understand, I used to be self-employed myself, so I understand. But if you've got a ton of write-offs, take that into consideration, work with your accountant on that.
Yes.
Because that's gonna play a part in what your actual income is after your write-offs.
Girl, I'm telling you, this was a lot of information, great information. I can't tell you, every time I sit down with you, I feel like I learned something. But I got something to ask you, Amanda. You think we can do part 2?
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to it, LaRose. There's still so much that we need to cover.
It really is to get people home ready. Now, I want to thank you, and I want to thank our audience for taking this tour with us on Essence V Sneaker Tour. I want you to come back because we're going to have great surprises, a lot of things that we're going to talk about, a lot of places we're going to go to. This is only the beginning. Amanda, check her out. Guaranteed rate. She's awesome. This is my partner here. When you see how we're dressed, we actually matched today, and this wasn't on purpose. So you already know you got a good person to work with, and I'm always happy to be here to serve you. You know what I'm going to say. Always offering an excellent client experience. Essence V Real Estate and Associates. Bye.